Oh,
Good evening and welcome to another episode with the SARPL. And as I said, hello, we got joined right here, right now with Harrison Frye. Welcome, Harrison.
Hello, hello. My mic
There we
works.
go. And also, there's a little bit of an audio issue, but I'm sure it will get sorted just now. Also with us is Brian Dolphin, um, all the way down there from PE. So thanks, Brian, also for joining us. So yeah, great. Let's see if we can make
Can you hear me?
work here.
Can you hear me good or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Now that sounds a lot better.
All right, just let me know. I'll put my headphones in.
Okay, cool. So Harrison, thank you so much for joining us. It's the first time me and you've met. We haven't really met face to face, I think, before. Maybe here and there walk past each other at one of the NXL events in Europe, if you pop over that way. But yeah, so just give us a rough breakdown about a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with playing paintball. How did it maybe start? Brian is going to ask some questions as well, but yeah, let's just get the wheels rolling.
Sure, yeah. So I've been playing paintball for I don't know how long has it been? 15, 16 years. My first tournament was in 2005, so that's let's see, that's 16 years.
Yeah.
Just about 17. Let's see, I've been playing pro for 4 years. The past two with Team Infamous. The two before that with Thunder, Seattle Thunder. And
Okay.
yeah, basically, started off my first time with the first time I was a little kid, and my brothers had paintball guns, and they decided to go play outside, and I followed them in the woods. And I was too young. They were actually pretty good brothers. They didn't shoot me up. They kind of just shot around me to scare me, and then sent me back home. But that was in my mind for years later, and then finally got the opportunity when I was old enough, like whatever, 10 years old or something, maybe 12 or 13, to get my own gun. And so me and my buddy just went out and bought guns and built forts. Built some bunkers in his backyard. And the first time ever playing, actually, we didn't even shoot each other. We were too afraid. We were just sticking our guns out the hole and like, oh my God, that was so cool. Couldn't even. We didn't shoot each other for a few days of playing because we were so scared. And then just quickly kind of became more and more into it. Became like more of a nerd. Was on PB Nation all the time. Trading gear, getting better gear, moving up, getting into it, watching videos online, watching Ryan Greenspan, Oliver Lang. Dynasty was my favorite team. Infamous as well, watching Travis Szymanski, Thomas Taylor, all those guys. On PB Star was a cool website. All over PB Nation. And now I'm playing with those guys, so it's pretty cool. Playing against and with, so it's a cool transition, and it's still mind-boggling to me, to be honest. Every time kind of Travis Szymanski comes up and with the playbook and all right, you're going here, like, yes sir, cool. it's still really cool. Obviously we're friends as well, but it's still a little part of me, the little kid in me is still like, wow, okay. Or, I get to shoot Ryan Greenspan or something. It's like, okay. So it's I still got that. Still got that in me. It's, every time you make it to finals in pro, or, you're playing on the big stage, it doesn't go away, but your maturity level goes up, and you kind of like, it's not as big of a, let's see, the pressure. I mean, the pressure goes away, right? And then your experience level goes up. But I still, when I get down and think about it, like after the tournament, like, yeah, that's pretty cool. The little kid in me comes out in my head. And I think Manny just Asala, what's up? Manny just
Yeah.
texted on the comments. I play with Asala for a tournament.
Okay.
And it was
Great.
it was a great time in Europe.
Yeah, they were actually out here in South Africa as well. They competed at one of the Super Cups twice, actually, that they came out to South Africa already, some of the players to come and play here in South Africa. And that was they definitely know how to party. That's for sure. So yeah.
For
So
sure.
Brian, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What is your question you've got for Harrison?
So, how's it, Harrison? Firstly, thanks for joining us. Other than a mama made it moment every time you rock up at an event, what keeps you coming back and what keeps you motivated? Obviously, the pro division up there is super tough to win. What keeps you motivated and coming back?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, like throughout the years, I didn't finish my whole story, but I mean, it basically is a bunch of trials and tribulations and failing and sucking, and just like grinding harder. I mean, I was in semi-pro for like 5 years, uh, won like 2 events or something in 5 years, like, what, not like a successful, colorful career. But and got cut from like every single team I've been on, until I made it to pro, for one reason or another. But the motivation was just like, it's the most fun thing I've ever done, and I want to be the best at it. So, and I still have that. I actually had to, every once in a while you kind of think about your life, and I was thinking about it yesterday, like, am I still gonna, how long am I gonna still do this, and what is my motivation? And I told myself, like, for as long as I can, and my motivation is to be the best. Like, there's no, I want to be better than everyone else out there. It's not, it's not about the women or the money. That comes too sometimes, but it's just to be the best, and to be the best at like anything. Like, if you're the best at chess player in the world, or if you're like the best like writer or the best like whatever, just to do anything at a high level is such a feeling, and like such a you can relate to like anyone else in the world. Like, I don't know Tom Brady, right? I don't know him, but one of the best quarterbacks in the world or in history, right? I don't know him. He's from New England. I'm from New England as well, so a Patriots fan. But I can relate to him. I can relate to his struggle. Different levels and everything, obviously. But when I watch professional sports or anything like at a high level, I know what it takes to, and we all do, right? We all know what it takes to like, and the work involved to get to any kind of level, to be the best in the world. It's cool. So to answer your question shortly, to be the best in the world is my motivation, and yeah, have a lot of fun, punk out people. That's fun.
So you speak about yourself being in. Sorry, go for it, Paul.
No, go for it, Brian.
Sorry, you spoke about yourself and being in semi-pro for so long. In America, how big is that gap between the semi-pro teams and the pro teams, and the divisions even below that? Because I know when we come up as South Africans sometimes to the European events, or some of the guys have been fortunate enough to play in America, normally we head to like D2 or maybe D1. So how much bigger is that gap between semi-pro, pro, and then even dropping down to D1?
Yeah. So in the States, D1 and semi-pro is the same.
Okay.
So it goes semi-pro, D2. At least currently, there's been different renditions of it. So the gaps in divisions are big. There's certain skills, like going from D4 to D3, for example. The gap is is big. People start to snap really, at a higher pace. Like people get kind of a quicker pace from D4 to D3, D3 to D2. You'll see people like rolling off more so. So it's not just put the guy in and go. If you put someone in, he'll roll off and shoot where he wants you to get, where he thinks you're going to go. Skills like that. Break shooting gets better in D2. And also the pace. In semi-pro, the pace actually slows down a bit. It's kind of funny. So scores are kind of tighter a lot in semi-pro, which makes it really hard to win consistently because, less points, less chances for winning, even if you're the better team. If you're a better team than another team, like say your team's better than my team, you want to play as many points as you can. Because statistically, the more points you play, the more chances you're going to win. And if your team's better, then, those chances are higher. If anyone can win 1 point, right? So you don't want to play a 1 point game against a worse team on paper. You want to play a lot of points. And then the gap from semi-pro to pro, it's big. Yeah. It's playing. I always say playing pro is easier than playing semi-pro because everything's just done for you better. There's coaching, there's pit staff, the refs are better. It's just like it's an easier to play your game, but winning is way harder. Like you're not going to win more, but it's easier to do your job because everyone has a job. There's dedicated pits, staff. Like I said. Just everything's kind of easier, but more difficult, if that makes sense. And yeah, the skill gap is huge. I remember my first tournament, my first game in pro was against Damage, and yeah, they beat us. But I had a few like pretty good points where I did some work, but it's still like you can have, like I said, you can win a point, you can win 2 points, but winning 7 is the big difference. Yeah.
So a question from one of the players that's joined on the stream is, what's the most frustrating thing in pro paintball? I assume for you personally, what would you say is one of the most frustrating things in pro paintball?
That's tough. I don't know. I love everything about it. I love it all.
So nothing frustrating.
Bounce shots are annoying. If we could not do those would be fun. That'd be great if no one did bounce shots. But it's it's part of the game. It sucks when the ref gets a call wrong. I mean, refs are humans too. They're not trying to fuck you, but it happens. So that's definitely frustrating.
Pulling back to that pod packet.
Oh yeah. Okay, that was frustrating. So okay, you know what I'm talking about. You both know, it seems like.
Yeah.
Does the world though? Okay. I didn't really share that.
I think Go Sports had a big go at it.
They didn't even no, they thought Ryan got the penalty. If anyone doesn't know, anecdotally, the first event of the year we took second place against Impact, and it was like the last point. There was like 30 seconds or something, and we needed to win. And I felt we were going to win the point. We had a kill or two. It was probably like a 4-on-3 or something. I'm messing up the exact details clearly, but I got a penalty on a pod. I'm in the snake, right? I'm gonna go. I just shot Nick out of the back center, and I'm gonna go crawl down and go try to win the game and go bunker someone. And the ref comes over and pulls a penalty on me. And there's 30 seconds. This is the entire tournament. This is for first place, pro division, everything. And I look down and there's a broken ball in the pod, right? Like I had probably hit the ground too hard or whatever. The paint was broken in the pod and I got a penalty on it. And that was frustrating to say the least. One of the most important moments of my life, the last point of the tournament, my first ever finals appearance in pro. and I'm getting a penalty on a fucking paintball broken in my pod. And there it is, right? Refs make mistakes, right? Last turn, he's been there all weekend, baking in the sun. He saw what he saw. He was obviously wrong. But everyone makes mistakes, and I can talk shit about it if I want, but it is what it is.
I think
Yes,
the refing is probably one of those things that's at every event. There's going to be good calls and bad calls, and people are going to be unhappy. It happens, and it's good that you've mentioned that it happens at all levels of paintball. It's not just at the lower levels. It does sometimes happen at the even like you say now at the pro levels. It's definitely not easy. I think being a ref in the first place, like you mentioned, standing in the sun for a whole weekend or whatever the case might be. But I personally also can completely relate that it must be the most frustrating thing when it's an unfortunate call and it just didn't go your way. So
yeah, and it's even harder to ref the higher level you're reffing, because people are just better. They're faster. Moves happen faster. If they are cheating, it happens faster and smoother. But most importantly, like, moves happen quicker, right? Like, I'm gonna go bunker that guy. I'm gonna do it really quick and then pull my gun up on the next guy. And if I had a hit on me, it happens so quick that it's hard for you to see it or something. For example. So yeah, the higher the level, for sure, the harder it is to ref.
okay, so another question that came in
real quick on my
another
Instagram.
question that came in, and then back to Brian for a question again is Michael Zeng is asking you, what's your training schedule like off the field? So what's your training schedule like off the field? What do you do?
So if you guys follow me on Instagram, which you should, because it's really cool, Harrison Frye Ventures. Someone actually, who was it? Someone said, Sean Petit. Is it Petit?
Petite. Yeah.
Petit. I'm gonna call him Petit.
We just call him Totis.
Is he French?
No, he's Afrikaans actually.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just texting everyone, hey, join the webcast.
You're trying to multitask.
YouTube. Okay. So if you guys follow me on Instagram and or YouTube, which you definitely should, both same name, Harrison Frye Ventures, VE. It's not Ed Ventures, not Frye Adventures, Frye Ventures, one word. So Frye Ventures. You're not the only one to mess that up, Sean. That's why I'm commenting on it. If you guys follow me on there, you'll notice that a lot of time I'm playing in my backyard. I call it the dojo. And actually, there's stories right now on my Instagram of us playing last night or yesterday afternoon. Benny Carroll is one of my friends for a long time. He plays on the New England Hurricanes. Him and I just got some scuba tanks recently. So we've been just, I have a few extra tanks that I just usually fill up before I leave the field. Now I got scuba tanks, so I don't need to do that. So I just play in my backyard a lot. I've got targets, some trees I go around and just do all my drills. And then besides that, off the field training, watching tape is really important. So watch webcast and whatever else, Go Sports. I recommend watching like a division or two higher than you. So, if you're a D3, watching pro is important, but it's maybe not necessarily pertinent. So more pertinent would be watching D2 or D1. So I was specifically, when I was D3, I wasn't watching pro. I was watching semi-pro because that's where I wanted to be. I wasn't going to go from D3 to pro. So to get there, I needed to watch semi-pro, and that's one of the things I learned along the way. And then besides that, just running. I do a lot of running. I live in a good neighborhood, so I just run around, and I'll do like a mile or two, and then I'll do sprinting. Um, my body is definitely a distance runner. I'm long, tall, and lanky. Somehow I play the snake one, but I've had to train my body for speed because it's not necessarily like I'm not necessarily genetically created for speed. I'm not like short, like stocky guy. So I've been doing a lot of speed training is my one of my main things. So just sprinting basically. Hill sprints, practicing the launch is really important. A lot of ergonomic training too. So functional patterns is one thing that I follow. It's a school of ergonomics training using myofascia. Myofascia run around your whole body. They go over it in between your muscles and kind of using those like rubber bands in your body to move correctly. So myofascia training is good. You guys should check that out. Myofascia. And then just eating right. So I really eat very clean. Take a good multivitamin, and try to move every day. And then when you be proactive about your body, if your back hurts or your shoulder hurts or your neck hurts, there's a reason for it. So lay on the ground and figure it out. Figure out why is it hurt. Massage it out. Do what you can. One of my favorite tools is just a lacrosse ball. I actually have one right here. This is like the best tool at my disposal. Just laying on it and getting in those spots. Like sometimes it makes me cry. When you're getting at a really good spot, that's how you know it's working. So. Yeah.
All right, Brian, your next question.
My shirt is is it just for you or is it like holographic?
Yeah, definitely.
It looks pretty cool, yeah.
That is awesome. We have really cool products at Infamous and Pro DNA, but we do not have an electronic holographic T-shirt. I don't know. That's my camera. I guess that's my camera, my computer.
It must be.
It's either a modification or it's getting too old.
Harrison, NYX and your beef with them. How do you enjoy it? Does it irk you? Do you enjoy playing against them? Like the hopper dump and the Harris is saying, screaming and shouting in your face. I know you got a bit of beef there.
So I used to play with NYX. The team the semi-pro team I was on for 5 years.
Yeah.
Actually 4 years. I quit the last year. They say they cut me, but I quit. So this rendition of NYX I helped start. I actually consider that I started it. They'll also tell you differently, but anyways, it was a help of about 5 of us. We all started together, and so there's no real beef. We're great friends off the field. If there's a Vegas tournament, usually I'll fly in early and stay with Harris in the hotel room and just we'll hang out and go out at night or something. So we're friends. I'll go out. They're like a 3-hour drive for me. So sometimes I'll just go out and practice with them or something. But on the field, right, there's, it's different. There's no, if you're on the other side of the field, then, and anybody should say this, anyone that's a true competitor should say this is, I'm going to overball you. I'm going to cheat you. I'm going to do whatever I can to get in your head. And that's what they're doing. They're doing the same thing. So it's respect. Sometimes it rubs people the wrong way, what they do. And I get it, but it doesn't, as long as you don't let it affect you, it's fine. And over the years I've played them a lot, and I've actually never lost to them in pro. So actually, you can write this down, this statistic. I've played them 4 or 5 different times, never lost to them in pro. I've lost them in semi-pro. When I quit the team, went to the Bay State Bandits, we lost to them, but never in pro have we lost to them. and I've knocked them out of several tournaments in the process. So yeah, no beef. It's all love on my part.
Okay. Makes for good viewing though.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. No, it's actually fun. I enjoy seeing that on the schedule because I know I'm gonna win and it'll be fun and entertaining. So it's a win-win situation for me. I hope they're watching. No.
What would you say for players that's new to the sport or that wants to get into the sport? Any tips or advice on, or just anything in general when it comes to why you should start playing paintball?
Okay, so why should you play paintball? It's the coolest thing ever. It's super fun. The people you meet within paintball are from all walks of life, which means you're creating like a network of people in your life that are doctors to not doctors. And you're and for me, like I've really created a huge friend group, friend and acquaintance group, and people that like would take their shirt off for me, and I would do the same. And I know like pretty much any country I can call someone up and have a couch to sleep on, and not that I really need to do that, but it's cool. It's a really cool network, and it really has given me back a lot. And I'm definitely at the point where I'm looking to give back too. So give back to the sport that's given me so much. And then as a kid growing up too, if you're not playing most sports, if you're playing as a kid, you're playing like in your same age class, right? And most of your acquaintances are in your same age group. So if you're 15, and you're playing like football or whatever, everyone on your team is the same age, and everyone in your class is the same age. So everyone's kind of thinking the same way, and everyone's at the same maturity level. But for me, when I was going to the paintball field, I'd have adults like, straight up 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds that I was on the team with, different teams with, interacting with every weekend, and just learning different things. Right? Maybe they're talking differently, maybe they're thinking differently. I'm absorbing it all, and I'm maturing for sure in a better way. And there was some bad influences too, right? But that's okay. It's a part of life. But it really, I feel it really matured me, and I started to notice it like in high school, like in like the later years of high school, when again, most of these kids, they've only been around the same age groups their whole life. And I remember like specifically going to a party, like a high school party, and there's kids like punching the wall because they're too drunk and like throwing up and I'm like, I've already partied with 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds. I'm not like, I've thrown up and stuff. I'm at like a different level of and not just the party, but I hope that explains something. That's what I'm trying.
Definitely does. Any plans for coming to South Africa at some stage and experiencing the South African hospitality?
Yeah, there's lots of cultures. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's lots of cultures. Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, I'm a world traveler. I've been to like, I don't know, like 30 countries. But South Africa, and actually the entire continent of Africa, I've never stepped foot on. So it's definitely on my radar. I know. Give me the test for sure. Yeah, give me a message. Drop me a message. I need an invite. And some help getting over there, and we'll make it happen.
Cool.
I definitely think next year, December, maybe for Super Cup, specifically where it's going to be held. I think definitely we need to try and see if we can get you out here. So yeah, we'll make a plan.
It's in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we do Super Cups in December. Yeah.
Which week? Second week?
It's usually the second week because our school holidays typically start. That's our time of the year when we break up for for our year end. You guys normally break in June, July. We obviously break. Our summertime is obviously December. Next year, if I'm not mistaken, looking at the school holidays, estimating at middle December, so around about 15, that weekend from 15 to 17 December.
I'm open.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pencil it in so long then. Let's see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I it's always kind of been on my radar, and when PALS was really big, I was going out to Malaysia for those events, and it didn't coincide. It didn't land the same date, but it was like, okay, if I can make this work to go to Malaysia and then to South Africa and then get back home, then we got a deal.
Yeah.
So that was always on my radar.
Cool. Yeah. No, I went to the Malaysian events also since 2012. I think was my first event there. So it's been and it almost worked perfectly like that. So yeah. Let's throw quickly in here. Andre is asking, do you have any pre-game rituals? Anything that gets you in the right headspace?
Yeah, I mean, I got a. It's really just about being there, like always, honestly. And if you're not there, if you notice, like we all those days where we're just off, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, didn't get enough sleep. Just go in the corner and kind of like, breathe and make sure you're there, you're present. There's not like that little haze on your head, within your head. Sometimes you got to drink coffee, whatever you got to do. For me, sleep is like probably the best thing I could do. Like if I could just, if I had an option to like scout games or just go sleep or get a full night of sleep, and it's full night of sleep. If I can, basically, yeah, 8 hours of sleep is my pregame ritual for sure. Making sure I'm rested. Because that ball comes at you right here, and you got to make a decision. And if it's the wrong one, then you're getting shot. And if it's the right one, you're avoiding it, taking the next bunker, shooting a guy, etc. So it's your cognitive, your split second decision making needs to be there. So that's my biggest advice. Oh, and you asked me also. You asked me why I get into paintball and what advice do I have to get into paintball. Surely, it's get on a team that of people that are better than you, and if that means you have to kind of hang out and be the pod guy for a while and wait your turn, that's okay. But you can go out there and for 10 weekends in a row by yourself or with people of your same level, and not learn as much as you could in like 1 or 2 weekends, and definitely utilize clinics if there are clinics or pro schools, whatever you guys call them. Utilize those, because again, like if you went to a clinic with myself or Ryan Greenspan or something, you're going to learn more in that one day or the 2 days than you would in 20 weekends with your peers. It just is what it is. Like if I wanted to start golf, I don't know anything about golf. I would suck if I just played by myself. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. My arm's going to be in the wrong place as I swing, or I go to someone that knows exactly what they're doing, pay double the money or triple the money, but get, 10 times more experience than I would in that one session. So it kind of blows my mind sometimes. I'll get a request to go do a clinic. I'm like, all right, here's the price. And then they're like, oh, it's too much. Like, okay, you don't get it. And it's like, I don't know. It's not worth the explaining it. And that's not me being big headed. It's just like, it's just is what it is. If you don't, you guys are both adults. If you don't get that, then anyways.
Last thing from our side, Harrison, World Cup, let's build up some hype. So how are you feeling about your group? Are you going to win? Who's the big competitors? Who's looking good going into it? How's the training been, and who you guys have trained against?
So World Cup. Yeah, we are currently in second place. Impact is ahead of us by a few points. So basically, we're looking to win. If we win the tournament and the series. So we'll win for the year. We'll have 2 rings, and that's the goal, right? That's the goal with any team. So we're training accordingly. We had a 3-day weekend last weekend at X Factor with X Factor, Houston Heat, and us. And then this weekend we're going to Damage. So Damage will be there. Us Russians will be there. I don't know if we're playing against them or not. ML Kings. And then we're staying all week. So we're staying all week down in Florida. And like team bonding in the house, hanging out, we're going to go to Disney World one of the days and just, team bond. And then we'll get like 2 more days of practice in, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, first day, Friday. Wait, do we play on Thursday? I don't think we play on Thursday. Scratch that. So then Friday, Saturday, prelims, and then Sunday, finals. And again, looking to take the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, everyone's competition. Everyone's good. It's World Cup. Everyone's been training all year. Obviously Dynasty won the last event. They knocked us out. They're doing well. Impact, Heat, they both won events. And those are 3 teams that have won events this year. We took a second. X Factor took a second. Impact took a second, and then I think that's it. So, but every team's good. It's pro. Like any, and this goes for probably any division. I'm sure you guys have all had upset losses where you've lost against a team that you shouldn't have lost to, and half of that could be the paint or your guns, or you guys all woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or you didn't take the team seriously and you didn't do your homework. And that's the thing you can control. So as long as we're doing, taking everything seriously, doing our homework, make sure we're scouting, doing all that stuff, then we're definitely feeling really confident about prelims. And then Sundays, same thing. You have to do your homework, but it's definitely a different beast to it. It's what we all live for is Sundays. So yeah. Someone's asking about Lasoya. Yeah, if you don't follow Infamous right now or myself, so we play in the X Ball in pro, in the professional division in X Ball. Again, we're in second place right now for the NXL, and then we play 10-man too. So Infamous has a 10-man team, like the old school 10-man mechanical. In the woods, it's woods, hyperball, and sometimes it's mounds. It depends on the location, the field location, and those go around the U.S. It's called the ICPL. So we just won the whole series in that as well, and then we also won ICC. So we're the best 10-man team in the world, and Lasoya is part of that team. So he comes to all those events, and yeah, he definitely still has it. He's a little slower, but he's got it. He'll go down, and there's actually a video of him on Hyperball. He bunkered one guy, bunkered the next guy, and then the last guy he just tapped him on the shoulder. In the tournament, you do that stuff in practice, but not in a tournament. So that was pretty cool. So and then again, so we won the last tournament and the year. So we had 2 rings on there. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see that picture of all the rings.
I see another question. Any paintball superstitions on your side?
No, I used to have my lucky underwear and stuff, and no, just no superstitions. I mean, if you're I do things that I can control. I definitely am a believer in luck and in the universe and kind of energies and stuff out there, but I don't have superstitions oh no, I don't have my my lucky headband. I'm not going to play well today. That's never crosses my mind. Because I've had lots of lucky headbands, and I'm playing better than I ever had with them. So that's that. But it's not a bad thing. I used to have that kind of stuff, and it kind of makes it's fun. Yeah, no superstitions. Just play good.
And then a final question from my side is obviously looking at your Instagram and your YouTube and things like that. Like a lot of paintball players out there, it's about the adventure, it's about meeting people, it's about getting around. What would you say is some of your favorite spots or your favorite things that you've done so far on the adventures you've been on?
So not like paintball, not playing paintball, but like the extracurriculars at the event.
Yes.
Or yeah. Man, so I've been to so many places. Like I've been to like a lot of countries in South America. I'm on a Mexican team that I've been playing on for. Well, I've played on 2 different teams in Mexico for 5. I've been going to Mexico for 5 years, basically. Colombia, Ecuador, Panama. Where else? In Europe, all over Europe, Russia, Asia, all over Asia. Asia is like a totally different animal, and it's raw and dirty, and I love it. It's a lot of times. So I did like 4 or 5 years playing those events at the end of the season, like I was talking about in December, and then I usually would just take all of December off, and I'd have my gear bag and my big travel backpack, and I would play the event, we'd win or whatever, and I'd usually throw my gear bag with one of my friends. Usually in Thailand, so one of my Thai friends, and he'd take my bag for the month, and I would just go off either by myself or with my girl or with whoever I was with on the team, and go off backpacking around Asia. So I've been to like every country in Southeastern Asia except for Laos. Yeah, so that's been cool. Some of those adventures are crazy. I got plenty of stories. One time I was in Cambodia at Angkor Wat, and I rolled up on my moto. I was by myself, and there's like the moat around Angkor Wat, if you guys are familiar, and I was kind of just hanging out there, and the dudes were fishing like with the big fish, the big net that you throw, and it opens up and catches the fish, and I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. So I'm taking a picture or whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna go ask him. So I went up and asked them, like, hey, can you teach me? And they're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So like, like on my wallet, my phone, I like put it in my backpack and like put it there. Like, if they're gonna rob me, then I'm screwed. But I'm just gonna hope for the best and trust the universe here. So I get in the water and they're showing me how to throw it, and I suck at it. It's like, just like falling in the water, and they're laughing and I'm laughing. And then I eventually get it, and I catch this one little fish. And they're laughing at me, and we cook it up and eat it. And, it was a really cool day. And then like, they're like, hey, you want to buy us some rice wine? Like, sure. How much is that? Like $1. All right. I'll donate $1 to the party. We can all have a party. So, I buy the rice wine for $1, and then we're having a party. Definitely a good investment. Yeah. South Africa, raw and dirty. Come try our beer. And know what load shedding? What's load shedding? Actually, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
So load shedding. So load shedding in South Africa is we've got just like we've got the different levels for COVID and whatever the case may be. Load shedding in South Africa is where they consciously switch off the power to a specific part of the country because we don't have enough power production to supply the whole South Africa with power at any given time. So that's the best way of describing it. It's actually terrible. It's been going on for years. It's got its ups and downs, but the last bit we've had terrible load shedding again. But yeah, literally load shedding is they switch off your power to a specific area for around 2.5 hours at a time. And yeah.
So this transmission might just shut off at any point. This webcast might just...
luckily not. We do get a schedule, so you know when your power is going to get switched off, but it's still bad enough. So yeah. So yeah, looking at what you're saying about just what you enjoy with adventures, man, I can just imagine you are going to have a ball here in South Africa. Just talking about Table Mountain, I mean, great white shark diving, walking with the lions, whatever the case would be, even your hikes, like you're saying, just going from place to place. I think you might have a new favorite spot to come to once you've been here once.
I'm in. I've got my advanced open water diving certificate. I'm actually gonna get my rescue diver in December. So I'm going to Utila and I'm gonna get my rescue diving certificate. Do free diving. Yeah, I'm all about it. Riding lions, hunting elephants. I'm about it. No, I'm kidding.
So are you qualified? Okay. Are you qualified with Paddy?
Yeah. Advanced open water.
Nice.
Getting my rescue.
Yeah, I've taken my qualification up all the way to instructors. I'm a MSDT, a Master Scuba Diver Trainer. I've got about 10 certifications behind, or specialities behind my name. Shark diving is probably one of my top dives. I mean, diving with sharks, the stories I can just tell you, going out scuba diving with tiger sharks, seeing a 4.5 meter, I don't know how much that is in foot, but a 4.5 meter tiger shark, literally grabbing they were feeding it, they were doing chumming.
Yeah, I've been to that with the bull sharks.
Yeah, so
the bull sharks.
This 4.5 meter, and it grabs this inside of a washing machine that the food was in. It literally just opens up its mouth, takes that whole inside of the washing machine, and it just shakes it. And then you realize if that thing takes you, it's over. It's done. So,
yeah, I got to experience that in Mexico. We were 30 meters down, so 100 feet, and the same thing. It was bull sharks. It just like one hit me with his fin, like in the face. I was like, oh. So cool.
All right, now cool. Looks like we will have a ball. It will be an absolute pleasure having you here in South Africa. We've been lucky enough. We've had Bobby's been here. We've had Ryan Greenspan, Rabikoff, Greg Sewers.
The old Houston Heat.
Yeah, so Greg's on my team. Greg's on my team. He's been telling me stories.
Yeah, Brad McCurley. Now you definitely grab a few of them as well. Some of them is rougher than the rest, but it would be good having the guys here from the USA again. And you can even, I remember Greg telling us the one time at Super Cup, he's like, he's never paid so cheap for alcohol in his life. He could buy like a whole round of drinks for everyone around the table, and it cost him less than a single drink for himself over in the States. So once you're in South Africa, I think the exchange rate at the moment is about 15 to 1. So for every $1, it's 15.5 Rand. So the exchange rate is definitely in your favor. So it's
I'm already in. You don't have to convince me anymore.
Okay, good. Harrison, we'll definitely stay in contact. Really, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure chatting to you. And hope we can stay in contact. We'll definitely follow you or keep on following you on your Instagram and YouTube channels. Again, that was what Harrison Frye Ventures. Those of you that haven't checked that out yet, Harrison Frye not at Ventures, just Ventures. Yeah. So check that out. Follow him on YouTube and Instagram. Make sure you check the games out. World Cup is around the corner. Actually, that's another. We're connecting to another person next week during World Cup. I think it will be during the lunchtime or something. We're going to connect directly there to the NXL at Florida, and we'll be broadcasting that live and just have a little bit behind the scenes look at the NXL. So looking forward to that. Brian, any final words from your side?
No, just looking forward to seeing you here, and thanks for your time and thanks for the chat.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you. So you said you're connecting at World Cup?
Yeah. So we've got, I think it's one of the ultimate refs that we're going to connect with next week, talking a little bit about reffing actually, and then also live streaming a little bit behind the scenes what's happening there during lunchtime or whatever it is that you guys got. I think next week Thursday. So we'll check out a little bit of the scenes. Maybe I'll connect up with you again if you're there and you're willing to chat and you're available. And you can show us maybe a few things that side as well if you're willing. And we'll see what happens. But any final thoughts from your side, Harrison?
Yeah, play paintball, give back, and have fun.
Awesome. Great. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian, for joining. Thank you, Harrison, for joining. It's myself, Paul Grobler. We're signing out for tonight. Keep it real. Get people to join in, play paintball. Remember Super Cup 10 to 12 December. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week on the stream. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
And let's get this out.